I remember I was standing on a mountain with David Attenborough for the Africa series. One of the lines he was saying was, "Nowhere on the planet does wildlife put on a greater show." And I started thinking about, I wonder what it would have been like to have stood here when the dinosaurs and the creatures were at their finest moment. And I thought, I wonder if you can actually make a show like that about dinosaurs.
Hey, how's it going? So I'm Jor-Els, I'm with JVS Media, and it's great to be speaking with Mike Gunton, executive producer and director of factual and the natural history unit at BBC. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
I'm a big nerd about all this, and our time is brisk. So I'll jump right in here. Prehistoric Planet, it has redefined how we visualize ancient worlds. What inspired the team to dive into the Ice Age era for season 3?
Well, we spent 2 seasons at the end of the Cretaceous with dinosaurs, and it was great fun. People really enjoyed that experience, and I feel we created a kind of Prehistoric Planet universe that we're the time machine travelers with the filmmakers who go back in time and go and show you what it was really like to live in this world. And I was thinking, well, where else has the world been extraordinary, animals been extraordinary? And of course, immediately thought, well, there's this great time of turmoil and change, a couple of million years, but between 2 million years and actually only 11,000 years ago, right within recent history, really close to our contemporary time, these ice ages. And so it seemed to me that was the obvious thing to give the Prehistoric Planet treatment to: load up the time machine and just go back to the Ice Age.
Perfect. And season 3 shows us many Ice Age animals, such as woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats, being brought to life. What were some of the biggest technical or scientific challenges in making these creatures feel alive on screen and making that accurate?
Well, there's 2 elements to that. The accuracy thing sort of comes first. You have to be these creatures have to feel and look like they scientifically need to look accurate. But the big challenge is more of the experiential one. How do you feel as an audience that you are really in that world, that these are real animals? And that's a combination of both storytelling and approach. But clearly the animals need to look completely alive. This is a challenge. Mammals are difficult. We are mammals. We know what mammals look like. Lots of us have cats and dogs. We know how these things, so we're very, very sensitive to anything that looks a bit off. Secondly, that makes it very hard. Secondly, they've got fur. In a VFX world, fur is hell. One of these creatures will have 1 million individual pieces of strands of fur, all of which have to react to the wind, to another animal. So that's incredibly complicated. So that's very, very hard. And then the third thing is they're living in the Ice Age. So they're going to be walking through ice and snow, and they're going to be jumping into muddy pools and things like that. That's very, very, very hard. Basically, most VFX people at that point would say, goodbye. It's too difficult. So to pull that off technically, we couldn't have done this 5 years ago. I think it's only there's been a big, I would say, an acceleration in the combination of the skills, the computing power, the technology to be able to do this we've sort of hit this just at the time when it's possible. And it is an extraordinary, I didn't do it. I can't take any credit for it. I'm just the director, I'm producer. The actual technical people are amazing. But the real trick is not just that sort of almost like cold technical side of things. It's actually making these animals feel so authentic that you believe that they're alive and they're making decisions and they're interacting, they have personality, they have lives and things at stake. And that is a combination of obviously brilliant VFX, but also how we frame their stories and how we photograph them. We photograph them in a way that is like a natural history show, very much about little looks in their eyes, little tracks from as one animal looks across to its opponent, that little look in its expression on its face. You believe, you engage with what's going on inside their heads.
That's awesome. Just trying to see like as accurate as possible, like saber-toothed cat represented. Just sounds insane. I don't know how much time I have left, but I do have another one. The
No,
trailer
keep going. We'll
teases.
keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trailer teases new ecosystems and behaviors from this post-dinosaur world. What's a standout sequence or a creature story that you're most excited for audiences to discover across these 5 episodes? What can you
Um,
speak to?
I think it's impossible to say what's a standout because I think that, I mean, obviously I'd say this, but I think they're all incredible. I do think the
Yeah.
very first sequence, I think, sets our stall out perfectly. You know, when we see that mammoth mother in a storm with giving birth and in dire trouble, and then she is rescued by the herd, because it establishes everything. It establishes the characters, the authenticity, that it's going to be about individuals, it's going to be about challenges from the environment, but also one of the big themes in this show is about family. These are a lot of these are social mammals, and the power of family and a collaboration within family was a kind of superpower of these creatures because they were able to protect each other both from predators and enemies, but also from the environment, which was, you know, in historical terms, in the planet's terms, this was one of the toughest times to be alive. You know, it was brutal, the weather, especially up in the northern hemisphere. So, and one other thing I think that's interesting for the audience, which surprised me, I hadn't really thought about it till we started making it, was
Sure.
it's not all about ice. A lot of it's about, you know, one of the consequences of the ice age was that all this water got sucked out of the atmosphere and locked up in the ice. You know, some of these ice sheets were 2 miles thick. And so there was this enormous aridity, dryness, desertification in this southern hemisphere. And so one of the whole shows is all about animals living in deserts, effectively. And you don't think about that in an ice age, but they were all kind of weird and wonderful creatures. And also, one of the other consequences of the ice age was the retreat of the forests, and that was replaced by grasslands. And now, one of the dominant habitats on planet Earth are grasslands, and savannas, and steppes. They were all born in the ice age. So the world we live in today is a legacy of the ice age, as we are.
Wow. Okay. Wrapping up here with Prehistoric Planet, Ice Age premiering November 26th on Apple TV. Can you say anything towards what's next for the franchise? Like, can you say anything about what we?
I'd love to, but I can't really because I don't know.
Sure. Sure.
But I mean, obviously, I think we have, as I said earlier, I think it is a franchise. I think we have created a kind of universe, which, you know, sort of, that time machine needs to be flying somewhere.
Is there like a blue sky that you would like hope to maybe see, or is that too much?
I think that I can't think what it is, and I don't know what it is yet. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't tell you.
That's a perfect way to leave off. Listen, it's been a blast talking to you. I nerd out about this stuff all the time, so this was a pleasure.
That's good.
Thanks, Jor-Els.
Nerd to nerd, I love it.
Yeah.
Where the surest way to survive is together. Prehistoric Planet Ice Age. Only on Apple TV+.